Well, sorry we're late, everybody that came for public comment, but see we have
Okay.
a few here.
Sorry, thank you.
I see Angelo. So Mr. Tortlett, did you want to go first? All right, public comment from Gary Tortlett. Yeah, you guys can take it out in the hall if you want to keep talking. We got public comment here.
Good job, Robin.
Hey, guys.
I'm here to ask for your assistance in making a request for a speed limit change in the Johnson Creek area. I've been in contact with Daniel Belcourt from the Traffic Commission for our district.
What was his name?
Daniel Belcourt. And he's out of Missoula, and he does our district. I guess it's a big district.
You're talking about State Highway.
Yeah, and he's also a private lawyer or PC. So I don't know. Anyway, he stated that in order for this to come about, the request has to come from the commissioners or the city, so I figured, well, commissioners would be better. Anyway, currently the speed limit is 60 miles an hour, and through that area. But due to the poor visibility, I'd like to see it drop to 50 to 45 mile an hour, but that's just me, I guess. There are 14 families living in that Johnson Creek area that come on to Mountain Road East. And I know, talking with some of them, they've had problems, scares. I've had scares. One from a highway patrol, but not you. You know, in the 23 years plus I've lived out there, I've removed 5 cats, 3 deers, 1 dog, and with the adjoining forest, I found elk with broken legs that have succumbed to predators, of course, and one just this year. Another problem area there at Johnson is when you turn onto Johnson Creek Road itself, if you don't make a 90-degree turn, you can't see in the bottom. And it's like I don't know what you do, roller coaster ride for them. Well, there's been many times that they've almost broadsided someone because they didn't make a 90-degree turn. And myself, pulling out of my driveway, coming westbound towards town, I can't see down that hill, and there's been some close calls. And I just think it's time maybe people, it seems like they're not thinking about us out there, people that have to get on the road, but maybe they're late for work or whatever. But I would really, I'm asking for your help in this matter.
When you talk to him, because there's, of course, when the state does their normal speed study, what they typically do is they'll put a little thing out there and they'll measure the cars. And so then, if 80% of the cars are going 40 mile an hour, then they'll go, okay, let's make it be 40. But if 80% of the cars are going 65, they'll leave it at 60. Like by the town pump one time, there was a speed limit change. They wanted it. They did a speed study and they actually ended up raising the speed limit from 25 to 35, I think. But so sometimes it can go the wrong way. But what kind of speed study was Mr. Belcourt asking that we request that kind of a speed study that they do? Or was he saying that we try to get a special request where we ask that they flat outright reduce the speed limit?
Well, he said for any change to happen, they have to do that study that you talked about.
Okay.
And it takes 9 to 12 months to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So
if most of the cars are going by there at 45 or 50, then that could be the new
then
limit.
that would, yeah, okay.
If that's the kind of, we did, you know, it used to be no speed limit out there, then it used to be 70, then they came back with 60.
Right.
But, and when the road is owned by the county and maintained by the county, we can just willy-nilly go, what do you think? How about this number? But when it's owned and maintained by the state, they have that 80% formula thing. And then if that didn't work, it's very rare, but sometimes we can say, there's hardly anybody out there, We have all these letters from the people, I mean, we did it out by Slowway.
Okay.
But it almost takes a tooth pulling to get that done because it's their road and they don't like to change what 80% of the people are doing. But I think we can certainly request from him to do this 9-month speed study and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
And that 45 mile an hour curve, another thing, if the sign is black and white, that's enforceable speed limit. You can be written a ticket on it. If the sign is yellow, it's recommended, hey, warning, you might want to go 45,
Oh,
but
okay.
actually you can go faster than that because it's not the speed limit.
Well, they do.
And an old highway patrolman once told me that you can kind of think that if you're a good driver, you can go 20 miles faster than the recommendation around the corner. Those recommendations are made for all myriads of driver. That means 80-year-old grandma, truck driver, young kid. So they say 45 for the average guy to be able to negotiate the corner. But if it's yellow, it's not a speed limit, it's just a
I
curve
see.
ahead, try to go 45, and you can probably go faster if you're a better driver, or faster if you're a better yet driver.
If you have a Ferrari. or
Right, yeah. But anyway, so from your understanding, Mr. Belcourt just wants us to request a speed study.
Yeah, and there'll be a review meeting September 2nd for these requests. He did
At
tell me that.
Missoula somewhere, or?
Well, what it's with, he sent me a website, and it's with the Montana Department of Transportation.
Okay.
And there's a website about that long. So I'll give it to you. Know where it's
Don't,
at.
yeah,
Oh, you know where it's at?
I do.
Okay.
don't they have like a
Okay.
quarterly meeting in Helena? Jessica and I attended one when I was first elected to get that changed there at St. Regis.
Oh,
through the
mhm.
four-way.
Mm.
And it's
Okay.
a-
And yeah, that
It's a
one,
panel.
and that
I think
one, that one didn't work with the 80% of the drivers because they were all going faster than that, so you had to go the next step
Yep,
to get it actually reduced.
yep.
Okay.
So yeah, if Belcourt's talking about the speed study to see what most traffic is doing, that's easy enough. But if the numbers don't work, then it might take an extra step of twisting
Okay.
their arm. But I think we can easily enough ask them to
Great.
do a study.
Can you ask for the study and, because I go there, by there every day, so I know what you're talking about. And there's a lot of critters that jump out right there by the overpass, the little bridge there.
Mhm.
Lots of critters, and if they could keep track of that as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think,
Because that's
yeah,
just crazy
animals are fine too,
sometimes.
but I think the main thing is the poor line of sight, the visibility is
It
with that
is.
dip. And like you said, you think you're good and then you go to turn, all of a sudden there's a car
Here they
that,
come.
Somebody
yeah.
pulling out of it.
You know, and if they're going, I think if they're doing 60, it's too fast. I mean,
Mhm.
they're just right on top of you right now. You don't see them.
There's no time to slow down.
So, you know, and
you know, we'll
and
try
I'm
to,
getting older.
we'll try the 80% thing. And
Okay.
what might have to happen is that maybe you might have to say it stays 50 mile an hour until
Okay.
after that curve at the airport, and then it goes back to 60 or something like that. You know,
Mhm. Okay.
I don't know.
All
But
right.
but we'll see what their
Yeah.
speed study. So you just want us to write it, he said just to send him an email requesting a speed study?
Yeah, and it goes to the, it's not to him so much, but the
that
Montana, what is it? Vision Zero Road Speed Limits. It's a big,
Okay.
I like it.
So if you can give it to Charlie for us,
Sure.
Mr. Torlet, then we'll,
Well, yeah,
Try
I
to-
appreciate your time and
Well-
your consideration in this. Thank you.
yeah. We could put a sign up there that says turtle crossing, Torlet.
I used to have one. Some guys put it up.
Oh, did they?
Just this one right here?
Yep.
I'll do it.
Okay.
No.
You can have that if you want it.
Thank you.
Just
Hey, I
don't
used to
make-
work in
Don't make
Kenai.
it public record.
I used to work up in
Too late.
Kenai,
Did you?
Alaska, yeah.
Oh.
When I was out of high school on the offshore platforms up there. Were you fishing up there?
No, we go to Fairbanks about every 2-3 years.
Oh.
I just picked up this shirt.
Oh, you figured out, okay.
Thanks.
Better
All
than.
right.
Continue, Gary.
And Mr. Hanson, did you have public comment?
You got time?
We've got time.
Are you avoiding me?
Saving the best for last.
Yeah, but I gotta let somebody go.
Oh,
Is it?
Takes me a long time to walk up here, but I'll go out the door real quick. I just him going back through another procedure I've gone through for 40-some years. And although you're all new commissioners, it's the same old game. But I got this letter yesterday, and there's mailing to everyone else but the Mineral County Commissioners. And I kind of loudly resent, the state superseding local government, and whatever their problem is. Along in May, they asked for permission to come over. I have a wrecking yard there at the west end of Alberton. And they asked for permission to come over and look at the adjoining land next to it in the 24th of May. And it took them 2.5 months to come back with a compliance letter. Now they're demanding compliance by September 2nd. And
Or what?
a whole list of things. And I don't have any problem with complying with the ones that have merit, but to jump into sending them a contract signed by me that what I will do on such and such a date and have this done and that done under pressure, threat, I resent that. If I have a business of my own, maybe not what they like, but I own the land, and the town and people in Alberton, majority-wise, are happy with it. I deal with everybody in town constantly. And so I feel it's only fair to sort it out with the town of Alberton first, and then with the county if they want so to be. But to try to intimidate me by sending me a bunch of letters, how they're going to do this, and immediate enforcement, and on and on and on, and demanding this all be done by the 2nd of September. And here's some pictures they took without authority from me. They went up and took pictures around, not knowing what they were taking pictures of, or whatever I said. And it's just hard to. I've been through this at least 10 times before, and each time there's new people, kind of same old thing, but some of it's correct, some of it isn't, some of it's just.
So you feel that they kind of misled you to gain access on your property and take these
Well,
photos?
they flat out, they asked for, over the phone, they asked for permission to look at the 6 acres of joining. They never looked at that. And then I called the owner, and she said that they didn't have any problem with hers at all. It was all me. So that was their target to start with. But, I got brought this out of the Superior Napa calendar,
Oh.
and that must be what they want it to look like. So it's,
And did Tim Reed get a copy of this letter?
no, well, he did this last one, but before that, he wasn't on there. And they settled two, as near as I can tell, two situations without any acknowledging to the town of Alberton or to anybody, to me. And I talked to the owner, and he said, no, he said, everything's fine. He put up a couple barriers or something, and he's in a residential area. Been running a wrecking yard there for 5 years. And he said, no, I'm okay, that's fine. I just want to inform the commissioners, is if this is acceptable, that I question what is our future in Mineral County? Is there one?
I don't understand what standard they use, because I drive by Missoula, and there's some places I think are right by the highway, and you can see them, and you wonder why nothing happens, and then your place is kind of hard to see from the highway.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because on the way back, I'll take Old Highway 10, and it seems to me that there is a impound yard out here, visible from both the interstate and Highway 10. It is not, it's legitimate because it's a county impound yard. Mine you can't see.
But I think the difference there, Joe, is that we don't have waste oil and we don't wreck those rigs out. That is an impound yard. I mean, it's a little bit different than a wrecking yard.
Well, the
I would
thing
hope.
is, these vehicles I've got are long gone. They're not polluting anymore. You got more pollution going up and down the street right now with these running vehicles than what these that have been dead for
I know
15,
what you're
20
saying.
years.
I understand.
And if they're talking about eyewash, because they claim that there's a insignificant to me, but a little strip of property where is it? I think this is the one that they took. If you look real close, you can see the stop sign, the off ramp of the eastbound interstate. And they had to go clear up on the top of the property to get that shot. These tires and everything is what they left there when the county crushed it out 35 years ago. Now, they've been there all this time, and they won't tell me if there is a complaint, who it is or what. And they used pretense that the 6 acres next to me was deeded over to me. And so I checked into that, and that's not true. So maybe if there's anything you would want to do in regards to it, is just ask them for a background as to who complained, what was the complaint about, what initiated is it. I know they don't want it there, they just want me gone.
Well, yeah, like you said, this was kind of addressed before, and the answer was come in and crush all the cars out, and they left the tires, and now it's being brought up again. How many times has it been addressed and
Oh, at least,
an action been taken already on?
at least 6. And my presentation is that's been a town dump in Elberton for 100 years. So why go out and start another place to have junk cars when you already got a dump that nobody wants to clean up? There's 30, 40 feet deep of ravines and whatever that people have dumped there since Elberton was formed. And it's all gumbo, clay, so there's no seepage or runoff, and it's contained. And so then they used it, the precinct that this next land next to me was, it needed to be inspected, and I said, come on over and look. So either they're just looking for a job to,
What's the guy's name on that letter again? I forgot to write.
I got another one, I can leave that
Or
one.
you said Tim Reed's got a copy.
Yeah,
John.
Tim's got,
I was gonna
yeah.
ask Tim Reed his thoughts on it.
But I don't have any problem if they got a issue with something, we'll take care of it. But if the ultimate end is that they're just gonna say no to anything I have, well then say it up front.
Say no to anything you have.
Yeah, because no matter what I do, it's just gonna be continuance on to whatever. And so if Mineral County wants to take another loss of anything, then so be it. Thank you for your time.
Right. I'll visit with Tim Reed later and see what he's got for information on it.
Okay.
All right,
I emailed Candace and asked her for a copy of the letter.
okay.
See you in the paper.
Yep. I was just reading about you, Mr. Hanson, in the paper, in fact.
Can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Is there any other public comment? Ms. Brown?
Yes. Well, I'm here to talk about the cutting of the 15,000 out of my budget, which technically means my staff person, and just see if there's, I know that statistics don't do anything for an argument around here. I mean, I can tell you about the statistics and what the case count is and everything else. I can tell you that there's 2,200 statutes in the codes that tell me what my job is. I can tell you that depending on what our taxable value is for the county, I need a chief deputy or a deputy clerk. I mean, I don't know what will make the argument for you. There's no way that I can do what needs to be done up there without somebody there full-time. So, I don't know what in my budget, because there's nothing in my budget to cut. That is the most responsible budget ever, is what you get from me. There's no fluff, there's never any, crazy things in there. So,
Well,
I'm looking for
so,
what you're looking
yeah. Well, one reason that I told you in the store over there was because I
In the
knew that you'd
store.
want to come and talk about it. And we just got done having a meeting with the Forest Service, and the primary complaint from our group was that they were frustrated that it was already a done deal and decisions were already made. I would like to hear the perspective of what you just said, because I don't know what you do. And I'm struggling with trying to make all these cuts we have to do. And from where I sit, I don't know what you need, or I'm not sure what standards are being changed in the jail for 4-inch mattresses to 6-inch mattresses, therefore a higher cost. So go ahead, enlighten us on,
I don't know anything about mattresses either.
That was dealing with the sheriff's department.
yes.
That's where that.
I'm giving
Freaking
you-
me out
I'm-
with that
I'm
one.
trying to illustrate that I feel a little bit like I don't know enough about everybody's job to know where a cut can be made. So you said you don't know what it takes. Go ahead. Well, okay, from where we sit, we go, well, the clerk and recorder for district court used to do this and used to do that. Now it's different. And how so? What all do you deal with?
Okay, not mentioning just the phone calls and the helping of the public and just being the liaison between district court judges and the public. The public doesn't get to talk to the judge, so we are that sounding board. We get that information from them. We get them pointed in the right direction depending on what they need. These kinds of things takes an enormous amount of time.
But you do about 40% criminal cases from the county attorney's office. What else does your office do?
Right now, I have 78 open criminal cases. I have dependent and neglected youth cases, which is just under 30. We do marriage licenses.
Open the door now, Lord.
Yeah.
We do probates. We do divorce, parenting plans, civil cases. Civil cases combines everything. Anybody that wants to sue somebody, anybody, collection bureaus that are looking for debts.
And how's that differ from civil and justice court?
Civil and justice court is a lesser amount as far as monetary. Anybody can file anything in district court. If they want it to happen fast and cheaper, they can do it in justice
So
court.
there's a dollar amount threshold that decides
It's
which court?
$7,000 and then $11,000. If there's tort or personal injury or anything like that, it has to go through district court. We do the state's warrants for distraints from the Department of Revenue and all those kinds of things. Those are open and shut cases, but those judgments are lodged in our office. The title companies come and search all of that stuff for liens against property, liens against people, all those kind of things. We're in charge of the court calendars, all the filings, all of the calendaring, all the notifications, sending out orders. I don't know. Oh my God.
So, but when you first came
Taking
here,
minutes for district court.
Yeah, minutes. When court day hits on a Wednesday, let's just assume it's on Wednesday, from Friday to Wednesday morning is an extremely busy time. From Wednesday afternoon after court until probably the next Monday, extremely busy. At that point, we're working on the next court day. Between talking to attorneys, getting filings, moving everything around, notifying people. I mean, it's just totally constant. And that's just with the criminal court calendar. That doesn't take into effect all the filings. And in a civil case, it's not necessarily in court, is a paperwork drill. They file paper like crazy. So that's just, it's a different animal, but I don't know, sometimes it takes more time for a civil, sometimes less, but it's just, it changes constantly as far as that goes. But we have court at least twice a month. We have hearings and suppression hearings. We use the video when we can. Jury trials. We only have 3 on the schedule right now, which is good for my budget in other directions, but, you know, the last 2 trials that we didn't have, we still mailed out jury notices. So we send out between 75 and 100 jury notices. Then we have all those phone calls. Then we send out second notices. Then we start calling the people. We have to have confirmation. All of this takes days and days worth of work. I mean, to call a jury and then cancel a jury. We've had them canceled, what was the last one? 2 days before trial. So I stay there late to try and call them. The next day we try and call them so that nobody is ticked off enough that shows up for jury duty when there's no trial. And we make sure that that doesn't happen.
and when you first came here, the position was part-time, and so elaborate on that.
Well, the case count wasn't near what it is now, but even back then, Cheryl argued for a full-time person or even 3/4 because of the workload. I mean, there's still that same amount of things that have to be done. I think we have a little bit more, what's the word? Avenues to try and help the public. I'd say 80% of the people, probably 90%, that come in my office cannot afford an attorney. They just, it's an impossibility. So we have to find them some help. Sometimes it's not easy.
Public defender.
They're not allowed a public defender, not in a civil action.
Oh,
In a criminal action, they have a public defender.
But you mean for like parenting cases, divorces?
Exactly. Probates, guardianships, all of those. We have to find them that help. And, I mean, that's part of my job, is to find that they can still have their day in court, because that's every American's right to have their day in court. And they have to be able to follow the statutes, even as far as their paperwork goes. My judges, thank goodness, are very considerate, and I use that word with a capital C, with some of our pro se people that don't have attorneys, because they will accept still handwritten documents and that kind of thing. It's not always easy, and they don't have to, because in statute it says that they can refuse a handwritten document. Because, I mean, it sometimes gets a little difficult to understand what they're trying to say. with their spelling, with their grammar, whatever it is, and just legibility wise. So, those 4 judges help in that regard. I mean, it could just be that much worse. But, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. We do not have anything to do. It's kind of a double negative, is that right?
I don't know, ask Mr. Kepke. He corrects me.
Maybe I don't want to know. So, I know that if I cut $15,000 on my salary budget, that means my person goes to part-time. I know she will leave because she can't afford it. That means we're starting all over again, and I have to train somebody that can do that job when I'm not there. And that's just crazy to me. Just crazy. That we would give up on a fabulous employee who will do anything I ask, stay late, work through lunch, which she has many, many times. We don't always get out of court before noon. We go till sometimes 1, 2 o'clock. So, it's just those kind of things. It's the nature of the beast, and we all know that. If she needs to stay till 5:30 with me, she'll do it. I mean, it's just one of those things. I don't know what kind of arguments I can give you other than that. So what is our taxable value for the county?
11,140, I believe.
Total, I mean.
Do we have any of those things from earlier this morning that we could just show on the screen?
Because I think if our taxable value is under 15 million, I can be authorized a chief deputy, but not more than 1 deputy in addition. I would never ask that because I work hard. I feel like I do a lot of work myself. So there's a lot of things that when I only had a part-time person trying to get to, administratively, reports, any of those kind of things, didn't get done. It was impossible.
So we're just,
I'm looking for it.
Well, it was in the newspaper. Wasn't there something in the newspaper about the cumulative assessed value in Mineral County?
It went up, and I don't remember.
It went from 9 to 11 million, didn't it?
No,
no,
that's for mill.
per mill,
Yeah.
11,140. But,
The mill value went up from 9 to 11.
oh,
That can't be right.
she's coming. So what we're struggling with is the cash reserves got depleted, so we're trying to neutralize that so that we have the same amount of cash as we did last year, beginning cash. And so the RIF accomplished about 151,000 out of that 350 to 400 what we needed to target. So now we've been trying to cut supplies and this and that and whatever, and so.
But
we're-
to what
we're-
end that you lose really good employees is,
No.
does it offset that kind
No.
of thing? I mean, I understand, and I do understand the trying to get the budget somewhere in line, but there's going to be places where we're not going to be able to get back to. And I think that's harmful as well.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
It's not only for Kathleen, but for any of the other offices that are in a similar bind that may or may not be able to flex like she is or isn't. The intent, I'm guessing, is that we're in the hole, we're trying to get out of the hole, and we're also trying to get ahead so we don't go in the hole.
Right.
Can we, is there some, and we're trying to all do it in the same year. Is there some way, or is there a consideration, and maybe you've already figured this out, is there a consideration for not having it all happen in the same year? You know, so that maybe it takes 2 years to
Yes, I
accomplish
think the
getting
formula
ahead.
was 3 years, Dennis. I think it's stretched out over 3. That's just to get back to where we were. If, with them raising that value of the mill, if that gets appealed by BPA, which it probably will, it's not the first time they've ever done that. They do it most of the time when there's larger increases. We don't have enough money to run if we don't have a factory that.
So I was just asking that question, because.
And I think it is a 3-year.
Everything was trying to happen this year, and I thought, well, if we can at least. maintain the level this year.
33% is what they recommend your reserves to be.
Yes, I understand that.
And so 3 years, we thought we could do it an increment at a time.
To get to 33.
But if it took 5 to 6 years to get into the problem, why can't we take 5 to 6 years to try and get out of it? I mean, will we have more layoffs next year as well?
Maybe. I don't have a crystal ball. Had I seen it.
I think being conservative is better than trying to do so much in the first year. I mean, we all understand, and I don't think, does anybody abuse their budgets? I mean, okay, I have $4,000 in my supply budget. I don't spend $4,000 in my supply budget because I have $4,000 in my supply budget.
But you'd be surprised, there are some departments that don't do. There are some departments that spend that and then some.
Okay, so we have those kind of problems that maybe need to not happen.
Yeah. Here's
There
a
needs to be some
chronological
sort of
year.
like
This
a
goes back from,
sanction, something.
this goes back from '07. And so like here's public safety. In 2011, they were 661,000. In 2016, they were 958,000.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's necessarily a recent budget, but see how we've got this, they just continue to grow. Just from 2011. And then, so you're looking at this.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, I don't want to, assume anything for any other department.
No, I'm just showing you that, this is
I
what we were
just
looking
assumed you
at.
cut somebody else,
Yeah.
because that was my,
No.
well, that was my brother,
Mhm.
but,
But this
If it's any comfort,
counts for the,
Kathleen, we have cut everybody else. I don't believe there's anybody that's done that.
well, I know, but a department, it just seems that district court always seems to be somebody that you have me and I can do with a part-time person. Every other office has the department head or the elected official and at least one person.
full-time.
Yes.
Tim Reed has Candace, Marcia has Lorna.
Exactly, and other departments have multiples, and I don't understand why that is. Maybe I shouldn't do such a good job, and then it wouldn't bother me, I guess, but it always seems to come up, and it always seems to be an argument that district court can do with a part-time person. So, at that point, I'd say, Tim needs a part-time person, Stacy needs a part-time person, Justice Court needs just a part-time person. I mean, every department, maybe everybody can do with just a part-time person. So, you know, it's just, it's a little frustrating. Can you tell?
We know it's frustrating.
Well, I guess all I can say is you did come in and make a good argument. We're not finalizing
Thank you.
anything absolutely yet, but can you at least see if there's some places you can cut? We really need help in cutting.
Well, like I told you before, you can pray that we don't have any involuntary commitments for the rest of this year.
Why do you even say it?
Take that $7,000. By statute, we still have to pay until we get an order. I don't know what to tell you if you want to take that gamble. Last time we were in here, we talked to Jessica, and everything's reimbursable. Those numbers, if I don't spend them, the revenue doesn't come in, or that reimbursed amount. So if I don't spend it, it's not a problem.
When did you last have an involuntary commitment?
Last year,
Did we have one in January or November?
November.
Yeah.
Last November?
They don't happen real often, is all I can say.
And you got reimbursed by that?
No. What it is there's an involuntary commit, and they're sent to Warm Springs or some other facility for evaluation. As soon as we can get a district court order that commits them to that facility, then the state picks up the rest.
Mm.
Sometimes it takes 1, 2, 3 days for that hearing to take place, with everybody working 24/7 trying to get that to happen. And most of the time, it's about 2 or 3 days. We end up paying for Warm Springs or wherever.
Mhm.
I think one was West House last year. That's the one that somebody was asking me if we needed to pay. It was like $1,600 or $1,800.
Yeah, I wish we could cut 40,000 out of ours for legal fees we have to deal with for insurance.
You're talking about legal fees or just union attorney?
Well, that's what I'm saying, the union, yeah.
Yeah, not even counting that,
That's our legal, for union attorney.
not even counting the personnel issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else in there. I could make a supply order. I know what I use in a year. I can make a supply order, and whatever's left, you can have. Not quite sure how much that would be. Probably, I don't know, $2,500, $3,000.
You guys can have the other 1,000 in ours. Doesn't mean it's just a drop in the bucket, but. can
We-
Wait, she's giving it to my department.
We're just trying to throw numbers out there and come crunch, and I knew this would alarm you, and I knew that it might bring you some other ideas. You know,
I just don't
We don't-
have that much in there to give, or I would. You know, our postage goes down because we are now able, because of the judges, able to email orders out to all attorneys and things like that, as long as we have email addresses, and we don't have to mail everything. To pro se people, we still have to mail things, we still have to make sure that they receive that. We're still supposed to be the pilot program for the e-filing, which is supposed to start, I guess, in November. When that starts, more maybe of that postage will reduce as well. I can't guarantee, because my postage budget isn't all that big. I think it's only about $1,500 anyway.
What about when those district court judges come? Will that bring any more revenue, do you think?
can you start charging for people to sit in court $1 a seat?
If Yes, the sheriff will collect it and keep it, so
It'd be
I,
like a fee, admittance fee.
Make it into a TV program.
Yeah.
Judge, what were you asking?
Reality program.
What line item?
We title it, "We Are Broke."
1,500.
yeah. Yeah, it's not huge. And I can't give it all back because I have just an empty jury in it still. So, anyway.
Thank you for your public comment.
Don't stress me.
Or me.
Or me.
What would you rather have? The road be 45 mile an
I
hour?
haven't used it yet, Kevin.
I'm gonna use
Been
it.
doing good, Lori. I thought you were close there with the Forest Service. So did I. I was not far from it myself.
That's frustrating.
I'm not sure if I made you cry, if that would be better for me or worse for me.
I'll cry for you. You want me to cry for you?
Well, I know that would make it worse, so we're not asking.
Because you know mine wasn't real.
So, anyway. So before any other decisions are made, will you just like call me? I'll bring my judges.
What'd you put on the email?
What if I brought my district?
What did I put?
Would you
We're
listen to
supposed to come in
them?
and talk to Jessica by Tuesday.
Did I bring anybody?
I was checking, you wanna see it? I haven't
Yeah.
read it by anybody, so this is.
Well,
Can you
Yes,
bring
sir.
other
I
district?
sent it, I haven't gotten anything
I can
back.
bring 50 of them here.
50 out of 56.
So this is the email that I sent, it's up on the big screen.
Okay, maybe not that
Roman,
Yes, ma'am.
that's the email that's going out. I'm waiting to hear back from, I got an okay from Marcia, she wanted me to send it to Mako, I'm waiting to hear back from Mako
About the,
about the email that's going out to department heads.
oh,
I was gonna tell you that I didn't get that yet.
So see, we didn't just pick on you.
Oh, I know, but
We're not picking on anybody.
poor Charlie and Roman, they saw me in the store and they happened to say something. Here I am.
Well, that's fine. I'm glad to have your input. But that doesn't change the bottom line.
You had a whole bunch of people come in with you and then they all left you.
is that
Well-
an hour ago?
It's quitting time.
My office cannot stay just empty.
Yeah, how to look, she's saying how busy she is in her room.
And, Melinda, she just left. And,
Jamie's covering both.
who else was here?
Cindy, Stacy, Kim,
They all took off on me.
Were they in your amen corner?
No. I made Jamie come. She didn't want to. She figured she'd cry. So, all right. You know where to find me.
Any other public comment?
Okay.
We're doing on the second.
We need to do minutes and stuff
On
before
September
we,
2nd?
Yeah.
I don't know, do they say?
I guess,
Yes,
I
sir.
guess I could ask how our state line issue is, because maybe we get a little revenue there.
Well, we haven't heard anything since,
Have we asked?
did we officially ask anybody?
remind me.
The
State line, trying to get
The
back.
adjustment of the state line, so.
Yeah, not the adjustment,
Or the, where it's supposed to be,
the actual location.
the actual location of
State line that actually would put part of the ski stuff in Mineral County that
We
we
had
could actually.
That would be a Tim. Tim.
I thought someone was gonna write a letter to.
Tim, I thought he did.
I thought Tim did.
Over there, and I don't know that he's done.
Yeah.
And I would've asked him, I just, I
Yeah.
didn't think about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a Tim
But I think
question.
you guys probably need to ask him.
yeah, we could we be, yeah.
Because that is potential income.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they're gonna add more on our side too.
That's what I'm saying, it's potential income because of the buildings.
Minutes.
You're looking for dollars everywhere you can get them.
I still think a toll booth. on the
I do
freeway.
too. They got them all over down in Florida. When I was down there, there's toll booths on the freeway. I bet you we went through 3 toll booths just from,
I think we need toll booths going into every mountain lake too.
There you go. You see, they're having trouble with that piece of the paper, they're having trouble with the goats up at Art Lake.
yeah?
Gonna have a goat season.
Did you get on the
I've seen it go
Jones
up at
Court
Cliff Lake
thingy?
twice.
Travis has got a picture, him and
Dwayne
Ryan
motion
went
to amend the
into
conditions to,
Surveyor Creek up
Kathleen will do
Fish
those.
Creek and
Huh?
hiked that
Kathleen
from
does
there
Oh,
or
Candace?
Came out.
Candace? Okay.
up on top of
So
the
that's fine.
trout creek there. Took them a week. And Donna's got it in her office, in fact. The goat's standing right up behind their tent on a stump. He's perched right, there's the tent there and he's perched, and then the next one, he's got his head right in the tent.
It was amazing, that one up the cliff, he would come walking around within 30 feet or so, and then
Well, they
he
said
jumped,
this one,
and he would jump right up on a rock. He
they said
wouldn't
these
stand
ones
up.
up there have gotten really aggressive, that like one of them gored somebody's little dog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and had a run around with some other guy. Liz was up there investigating it for the Fish and Game. We may have to put them down, they may be rabid goats and everything.
Maybe they're imported from Canada.
I bet they are, they're the Canadian goat.
Yeah, they're not-
Their heads are bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
shoot.
I hardly ever see it. Every weekend I
Well,
taken off.
Thank you for
Well, yeah,
staying
you're
strong.
strong.
Oh, with her?
Retirement's supposed to be, I think.
Well.
I don't know, we might have to revisit something though. I don't know how we're gonna, like what was the proposal you had? Like if you plug in,
Well, I just, we talk about wanting to have good quality employees. And listen, my job is not to have an opinion, so, I don't even feel it's appropriate for me to answer right now. Because my job is to take the minutes and to support Jessica, and that's what I wanna do. And if that's what she feels that we need to do to make things better, then that's what I wanna do. But it's hard, it's difficult.
but like Dennis said too, I wonder if there's a way to kind of ease into it without losing some good employees.
We're paying Jessica a lot of money, good money.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to heed her advice.
Yeah, I think she has a plan there, and, I mean, we can either heed it or we can go back to what we were doing, which was obviously wrong.
Mhm.
And I know it's tough.
Because it's gonna, no matter which department you cut, you're gonna have the same story
Yep.
from every single
Exactly.
one. And when you're looking at public safety, how do you explain that to parents of a child that's been kidnapped or, a crash and
Well,
the
I mean, I
response
told you
time?
what it was there when we went down to the 600,000 when Hugh was sheriff, I mean, they were, honest to God, dispatch was answering the phone, telling them, we don't have anybody to respond, sorry, and hanging up.
But if all departments are willing to work together to say, I'm willing to buy half the supplies and get by with what I have, maybe you can come up with something. I mean,
just like now, she just came up with $10,000.
yeah. And,
The supplies is,
it's not, but when you add it all up, maybe you can save one, even if it's one person.
well, maybe one person,
Maybe
but you're
one.
not gonna
No,
save,
You're
I mean,
not.
we're looking at, you may be able to save one.
Maybe, yeah, because right now we're,
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any tax protests going on in the county?
I don't know of any right now, but those notices.
They won't come out.
They're not gonna come out probably
for-
till November.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was curious, because I've heard of them over the years, and
They usually come.
Usually when the valuations go up, BPA goes and protests. You know, and I don't remember, it seemed like there used to be somebody else that did too. They were smaller than the BPA ones usually, but.
So we wanna do the minutes really quick?
Yep.
Yeah, I read the first one already, let's get down to the second one.
And only, let's see, on February the 12th. Up there on the motion to approve the minutes. We have
February,
a capital A on the approve. Commissioner Johnston to approve Thursday, August 4th.
What's that date? I'm sorry, the 19th,
The 12th.
the 12th.
The only thing I see on the 19th I showed you was the last statement there, motion was made by.
Have a good
Commissioner
weekend.
Dunn to
thanks,
Thank you.
Stanley.
enter into a contract with Matt Erickson to act as the interim county attorney.
And I fixed
to be
that.
effective. It needed a second.
I need a second.
So did you get that?
Yep.
And then down on the South Side Road, department discussion thingy, you've got Kevin Manahan. Maybe we need to put in there that he was on the phone via telephone or whatever, because he's not in the those present type
Well,
thingy.
I might not have, I gotta look. Because wasn't he here that day?
No,
No,
he
we called him by
called in
phone.
that day. So I was just going, maybe just put in there via, phone conference or telephone or however you want to put it.
And then that one, that's the-
It's an E, yep.
That's how I spell it. Sound it out.
Sound it out. Effective.
It's the only one I have on that one.
No, it's okay.
And on the 19th, on the public comment,
Okay, hang on. Jumping around on me. 19th, okay.
under public comment, you put, she is hoping that someone comes in, you might put Mary Yarnell,
Oh, yeah.
treasurer.
Okay.
And then Carol Johnson was present to provide update. Should be first and second correct should be capitalized because they're.
What sentence?
It should be the third one down. Carol Johnson was present, and then it goes, suspicious fire started out at First and Second Creek.
Got it. Okay.
And then 2 lines below that, it says local hotshots who worked, let's see, the loss is felt locally in our district with local hotshots who worked, oh, never mind. That was, okay. Anyway, that's all the ones that I had. I'm sure Roman has.
No.
He's pretty good at finding stuff that.
I don't think so. Yeah, because I already had to change the two, I remember going through this one already.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, with that, I will make a motion that we approve August 12th and 19th minutes with said changes.
Second?
All in favor of approving those minutes, say aye. Aye.
Boy.
And we need to approve claims.
Hang on.
I want to be on Jessica's house floor right now,
Might, me too.
sipping a mango,
Yeah.
actually slugging down the mango.
Yeah, I'm,
2, 1 in each hand.
exactly. Okay.
Claims.
Mary, I'm not.
Oh, let me
far
go
from
grab
my
my claim thing. Hang on.
Just kidding, just kidding.
Are you really? No.
No. Did you see that post that Denise Trader put on there yesterday? It said, I was out of coffee this morning, so I substituted that with tequila. My, everybody's pretty.
Okay, go ahead, Lori.
31317.
Wait, we need the total amount.
Oh, for the total amount of $293,594.95 with $600 disallowed. Do you need the claim number that's disallowed or just?
Yeah.
Okay. Claim number 31391 to Lisa Knight as it's already been paid.
Oh, so that was a secondary payment?
That was this, yeah.
Do we know where that mistake happened?
She brought in another one.
Yeah, she just brought in another one and it never went through the fair board, so.
Oh,
Really?
so that check I signed needs to be voided?
Yeah, she ought.
And did you ask her about volunteering?
I didn't get a chance to really talk to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the ones that are approved?
Okay, so it's 31317 through 31397.
And warrants?
Warrants 6583 through 6663.
Okay.
And that warrant, 6657 was canceled, was voided because it was a duplicate payment. Do I need to sign this?
You guys have some stuff to sign?